Hello and welcome to the CW Flash Review with Hassan and myself. Did I say your name correctly? I've been trying to.
Close. It's
Hassan.
It was Hassan. You
Hassan.
did good. You can go with Hassan.
I know, but I know you said it was and I was trying to impress you.
I appreciate it. I was impressed. I'm impressed by effort and kindness and care. It means a lot to me.
Okay.
But you know what doesn't care about kindness, care, or effort?
This show. Okay. Yes. Okay. So both of us watched the past two episodes to prep for this review show. So we will be reviewing them. The last one is the Killer Frost and Deathstorm resolution. Mm-hmm. And then the most recent episode is the fallout of that one. So we'll talk about the first one first. So in that episode, I don't know the episode number, but basically Deathstorm has been trying to cause everyone a bunch of grief. And in doing so, the grief is going to channel into Caitlyn, turn Caitlyn into the Deathstorm bride so that he can get married to Caitlyn. I don't know. But basically, that is Deathstorm's entire arc. And in the side of that, we've got all of the different characters going through their weird moments to grief about their previous situations. We've got Eddie Thawne that's back, that's talking to Iris and Sue. And we have Chester's dad. We've got Allegra's sister. We've basically got everyone's character that they lost in the show appear in this episode, and everyone gets burnt every now and then when they try and leave where they are. That's probably the best explanation I can give for that. And we also have the Killer Frost basically learning that she necessarily doesn't have a soul because her entire creation was to be Caitlyn's protector. And then
This is stupid. This is so stupid. Everything you're saying is so stupid.
I know, and it's the entire episode, and it's so it's all of that, and then Killer Frost and Ice Blade. I can't remember his name. Something Blaine.
Chill Blaine.
Chill Blaine. Thank you.
Chill Blaine.
I know.
His fucking name is Chill Blaine.
And so basically, they empower Frost to become Hellfrost. And and then here's the spoiler. I mean, obviously, you're going to hear the spoiler because we can't talk about it without giving you the spoiler. She becomes able to absorb the Deathstorm, absorbs it, and then she passes away. So, we'll do a quick talk of that episode. Honestly, there was some very forced relationship stuff with Chester and Allegra. We have a bunch of grief that doesn't really feel like it matters all that much because they've done these exact kind of things in previous episodes. And yeah, and they got rid of my favorite character.
Yes.
Why? Why, Frost?
Honest to God, why did we separate them into two fucking characters? Why did we ever do something so stupid? Why did we give them two, personality traits is one thing, right? When she's Frost, she's a little bit angrier. That's awesome. What? Why?
Yeah.
I've lost it. This show broke me because I loved the old school, Caitlyn discovering that she's Frost and all that stuff and that, whatever. And, the dissociative identity disorder portion of that could have been nuanced. It could have been Moon Knight-esque, right?
Right.
No. It sucked. And she was fun to be on screen because it was Danielle Panabaker getting to do anything other than
whining.
I'm the doctor and you can't go do things because I'm the doctor. Shut up. Literally no one cares. You're the doctor. Iris, the leader of Team Flash. Chester is Cisco now. Allegra doesn't matter. This show's stupid. This is such a... Excuse me. I'm having my Dylan moment. I hope Dylan gets to hear this part right here. I'm having my Dylan moment because who the fuck is this for? Who is this for now? I don't understand. I love this show with every fiber of my being at one point in my life. I'm
glad you said that at one point in your life because I was like, okay, we've got to talk about your taste in things.
Dude, I used to dress like Barry Allen, man. I used to wear things I thought Grant Gustin would wear on the set of The Flash. I would buy clothes accordingly because I was a dork. But you know what? I was a dork watching a good piece of television. This show, it's obviously has themes that are too mature for children, but it's too stupid for adults. I never wanted to be this person that just hates something so much.
Yeah.
I was sad when Frost died. I was a little sad about it.
She was the better of the two. I'm going to say it. Between Caitlin and Frost, Frost was the better one. Because of the fact that she did not have whininess to her. She was just blunt. She was just her. She didn't care. And that was what made her great.
This episode where she did. Apparently, I don't exist. I'm listening to the embodiment of fucking death tell me what is real and what isn't real. Why did that make sense? Why did it make any sense? Also, like, you guys brought Robbie Amell back to do this so he can sit there and monologue like really angry sentiments and then be replaced by an awesome looking CGI monster. That's it?
For 2 minutes of the episode.
This was supposed to be the final season of the show. Isn't that so upsetting?
I mean, you can tell it is because it's literally dying. Like the show is dying. It kind of died. And
last season, when I think about like the last season of CW shows, like the last season of Arrow, it was very fan servicey, but it was good. It was like kind of a fun watch. Oliver got a really cool suit in that season, which was awesome. It was only for the one season. I loved it. Even the last season of Smallville, it was season 10. It felt like a beautiful ending, and it really had him all. We got to circle back to all the characters that had been gone, and get to somewhere beautiful. Flash, if this was going to be your final season, you did not give a shit about your fans throughout your entire run. And this isn't to any of the actors except Candace Patton. It's to the writers. Oh my God,
yes. Okay.
To the writers, to Mr. Eric Wallace. Eric, why don't you try? I'm sure you're a great writer. You got this job. Try. Do something. This isn't to my absolutely Marvel and DC fans. This is directly to you, Eric Wallace, showrunner. Do you not care? Because this is like your legacy now, dude. You were the showrunner of The Flash that was supposed to revamp it. You gave us a cool intro, got rid of the monologue, which I'm all for, and then you made this flaming pile of shit with these amazing actors that deserve better storylines, with these amazing characters that deserve... Mostly amazing actors, yeah. Also, we'll go back to at least one of the positive aspects of it. Sue is hilarious.
Yeah, Sue. I love Sue.
Oh my God, she's so good. Yes, her and Ralph deserve to stay on the show. I know what happened with him, but we could have recasted him. I don't think we should have, but we could have. He's a fucking character whose face changes. He literally can change.
Like especially if he got damaged, because he could easily come back and be like, you know what? I wanted to be a new man, and this is the new me.
Or some bullshit excuses. I was so burned in that form that my body actually like has like, I don't know, like memory of that body shape, but it can't go back to it because it was so whatever. I could write your fucking show for you, and I don't want to because it sucks. This had so much potential. This show had more potential than any CW shows. It opened with mystery. It opened with intrigue. It opened with rich character progression. It opened with characters that are clearly have wonderfully long-running relationships. And now it's closing with Allegra, the medicine. like what? And no hate to the actress. She's fun. She doesn't get to do anything. She's beautiful. She's fun. I liked her dynamic with Nash Wells seasons ago. Now, Chester, I think I really have a crush on you. Just fuck. God damn it. This is like a weird show. This is an adult show. Just go hook up and do whatever you want and be a normal, stupid, unnecessary relationship. This is like Cisco and his random girlfriend, who I like because she was in Wong Fu production videos on YouTube when I was younger. Great actress. But why? Why? I know this is so unnecessary, and I've gone on a 4-minute rant now, but I can't deal with this anymore. It's gotten so bad. It's so bad. Yeah. There are cool parts. I felt like there were moments where I was engaged in the story, and then I would pull myself out of it a little bit and be like, oh my God, this is so stupid. What's the point? Chill, Blaine?
You know what? I will say, despite his name, the guy's got a good character.
He does.
Like, it's actually a pretty cool character, and I think they just went a little too hard into a little too obvious name. But
But
besides
also they just
that,
keep
I
giving
thought
him traits.
Yeah.
They just well, I'm actually what is it, like a fucking frozen scientist, cryogeneticist,
like something like that.
cryogeneticist.
But anyway, so that's basically that episode, and it concludes with Frost dying in order to save everyone.
It was a very sad moment.
And then this episode, the most recent one, starts off with Blockbuster. Everyone is grieving. Everyone is basically very off their game. The episode starts with them all encountering Blockbuster. Chester starts giving out instructions to them, but then calls out for Frost to do something as well. So he accidentally causes Allegra to get hurt because he had planned it for having Frost there. And we have a bunch of stuff. We also have a weird thing with Allegra and Cecile somehow being able to teleport in the way that like Nightcrawler does in the X-Men, where they just poof, and then I don't know how they explained that. Maybe I was looking away, but honestly, it made no sense. And the entire episode is how do each of the characters grieve the death of Frost, as well as how do they basically pay tribute to her and her life. So we've got things like Barry runs around the world and crosses off her bucket list with things like build a snowman at the top of Mount Everest. It was sweet. Like you get it. It's nice. We've got Iris who's struggling with writing an obituary for her because the things she wants to say gives away the fact that she's a part of like that team and knew her too personally. And we've got the Caitlin trying to figure out whether or not she wants to go to the funeral because she doesn't really want to accept that she's gone. We've got Chester and Allegra fighting over whether or not hummus is a condiment or a dip. Yep, that's an actual thing. As well as like the way that they decide to tribute her, which is basically, if you've seen many other shows when they pay tribute and they go, okay, we're going to put their costume up here. That's what they do. I honestly can't remember what the other ones do, but then it ends with the funeral. It's all sweet. But then Caitlin undermines everything and somehow steals an entire laboratory and puts it in her apartment, as well as cuts some of Frost's hair and plans to try and resurrect Frost, which undermines literally everything that happened in the past 2 episodes. Whether or not that happens, we'll find out, but essentially this episode was just about grief. I felt like it was a lot more grief than they've done for any of the other characters who have died as well, which kind of made it feel like, do you guys just not care about these other characters? Like, is it, like, I understand. Frost was amazing. I love Frost. She was one of my favorite characters of the show. Like, I wish they had kept her around. I'm really sad about this. But there's also a lot of characters that died. Like, there's a lot of people that died. And anyway, that's the episode. That's literally the episode. It's just grieving. There were some nice moments. I will say, I'm sorry, but Candace Patton, you're a terrible actress. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it. Every single time you're on screen, you are so flat. I don't get any emotion from your character. You don't really react to any of the other characters or work off of them. And it pulls you out. It pulls you out of the episode. It ruins the immersion because you're like, I don't believe you.
And that's on purpose because she's done. She doesn't want to be on the show anymore.
Yeah.
And she's never given like top shelf performances on the show, but she's been better before now.
Yeah.
She's done. Grant is doing the best because Grant gets paid the most, deservedly so.
Yep.
It's it's a miserable experience to watch this show because you always remember like what it was, and you always picture in your mind like what it really, really could have been. Because I think that 10 years ago, this cast of actors, and not necessarily this cast, you remove a couple of key actors and switch them around.
Right.
You had the potential for like one of the greatest shows to ever be on television, honestly. And what you're left with is this pathetic shell. And it's rough. The episode, it was cool to deal with the grief of a lot of these characters.
Yeah. I don't want to. I do want to say I don't want to discount like the whole narrative of this episode of dealing with grief in their different ways, because that is something that everyone has to do. It's just maybe some of the ways they did it was not.
We review another show called Young Justice. For those of you who don't watch that, it's an incredible show. They are dealing with grief, and we actually, in a cartoon DC Universe format, got to deal with a more real life grief scenario than on this live action television show,
which you should go check out those episodes. They are up here on Absolutely Marvel and
they are
as well.
Incredible.
They're amazing.
They are so incredible. But no, it's like Cecile's powers were meant to be a one-off thing. It meant to be that she was pregnant and her baby potentially was a metahuman, which, where's her kid?
Yeah, they never...
Cecile, where's your fucking kid, dude? Not just your baby with Joe. Where's your other kid? You know, the one that we got introduced to? Where are they? So forget about that. But Dan, if I had to do my best Cecile impression about how we're feeling about this show right now, guys, I can feel your rage and your anger. It's coming off of you in waves. It's coming at... Oh my God, Dan, you're really upset. That would be Cecile. That would be what Cecile.
That is exactly what she does. And honestly, in all of them, you can tell that every time her biggest purpose is to go, hey, we don't want to do a quick cut or have someone have to go get the information. So she's going to go, I feel that everyone has figured out their grief and has learned to do with it their own way. She is their excuse for a telepath, and they just didn't want to get a telepath, and it's very meh.
I feel it's just like she sits there and it's like I think she thinks she's giving like an Oscar-worthy performance. I'm convinced this actress thinks she's like incredible at it too, and she's like, Barry, you seem so upset. Dude, he's been crying all week. He looks like hell. Yeah, he's upset. No disrespect to her, because early on she was badass. I remember when they first introduced her character and as like a love interest for Joe, but as just like a really competent DA, and I was like, okay, she's kind of badass and like she's hot. Like, Joe, go off, King. Like they had a really cool, they had great chemistry on screen. The actors work well together. And now Joe hangs around wearing a stupid little hat all day, doing what? You're not a cop, Joe.
And then at the same time, though, he's still one of the better parts of the show.
He is. Jesse L. Martin is too good for this. He's too good for this. Where's Kean Lonsdale, huh? Where the fuck is Wally? Maybe cast Wally, an actor that would actually stay on your show, so that, you know what the show should have been? And like it would have helped with the longevity of it, and God knows CW wants to print money, right? You tell a competent Barry Allen show in 5 seasons, and you spin off to a Wally West as the Flash show.
They were too scared. That's the name of the game there. They were like, people like Grant Gustin, and we don't want to take the risk of swapping the Wallies.
No, and you could have brought Grant back later.
I'll also be honest, the big problem with swapping Wallies is there's too big of a Flash audience that loves the red-haired Wally that would be opposed to it just for the sake of it's not their Wally. Not any other reasons behind that, but just the classic, it's not their Wally. Just as the same way that when Barry Allen came back in the comics, they didn't enjoy it because they wanted Wally West. They didn't want Barry Allen. And that's fair.
And with respect to that too, I think we could have done, hey, a little reverse, right? The black Wally West in the CW TV show Flash is kind of the embodiment of the redhead Wally. And we later introduced a young white little redhead Wally as Wallace Rudolph West, the other one. So you can have Wallace,
basically
Wally.
Reverse of what they do in the comics.
Exactly. I thought that would have been hilarious because I think Kean Lonsdale, up until he butchered his hair like a fool, looked incredible in the suit, which I have words about that, guys. If you go look at season 3, he had the coolest fade into his cowl ever, and then he like grew a high top fade, and it's like the coolest equivalent to like Wally West, like redhead Wally West with his like beautiful red curls.
Right.
It looks so sick. And then he got a perm. And if you look at his hair in Legends of Tomorrow, it looks so bad. It's so ugly. But the actor's fun. He's great. Him on Legends was actually really fun when he was on that show for a season.
Right.
And he chose to leave that show as well. He could have been a cast regular on there. But yeah, there's not a lot left to say. I don't want to be a hater.
Yeah.
I'm glad they do cool moments. Every now and then there's like a sequence that I enjoy. They're like, oh, this is cool. I liked Eddie Thawne being back. Rick Cosnett was fun.
Honestly, that actor nails that role too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he does such a good job at being that friendly, upbeat guy that loves Iris. This just has that golden retriever energy, and like he was fantastic as that. Like, I was always sad that he had to leave the show, but gets killed off. But
yeah, gets killed off, and then they do the thing where they're like, his death was pointless, and it was. But how upsetting is it to hear it on the show?
And from him.
And it wasn't pointless for any reason other than how the writers wrote the arc. Because his death could have had nuance, it could have had importance, it could have had resonance. All the deaths should have and could have. But at the end of it, I would have liked to see him come back as Cobalt Blue from the comics just because the actor looks so much like the one panel of him we had. And that he'd been asked about it at various like cons and stuff like that. But hey, instead we got Deathstorm.
At least I had cool
it
CG
had awesome
when
CGI.
when he showed up.
Hey, but how cool was Hellfrost?
Honestly,
didn't we do that? Didn't we give her
like
speedster powers?
Yes, and it was like a half and half of how I felt about her. I thought her completely bleached eyebrows really took away from the fact that her entire outfit was black and dark.
Why did they bleach her eyebrows? I thought the same thing. Oh my god.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're gonna do that, bleach your hair too.
Yeah.
Go all in or go all out. That's
or don't
what you gotta
never
do.
bleach eyebrows. No one has ever looked good with bleach eyebrows. That is an insane thing to do. It like completely took away from Danielle Panabaker, who was giving her best performance.
Yeah,
she always comes swinging. She always can put in effort. So does the rest of the cast. Honestly, I think Chester's a great addition. He was a great Cisco replacement. Yeah, because I think he embodies his own character, minus the parts where he's dealing with his dead dad from 40 fucking years ago.
Honestly, the dead dad stuff, I think my biggest problem with it was always the fact that every single time he came back, it was the same thing. And there was no variation. But anyway, I feel like that's a good spot for us to finish off here. Oh, we'll see what happens. I don't know how many episodes left, but all I know is that I am pretty much done with this show, and it sounds like you are as well, and it shouldn't have gone this far. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is Absolute Marvel and DC. That is Hassan. I am Dan. And stay tuned. Check out our other videos. We are going to be reviewing Young Justice, a show we enjoy a lot more. So do be sure to head on over to that one as well. There's a bunch of other great reviews and talks on this channel. So do be sure to check them all out. And we will catch you all next time.